Gadget UK here. Just a quick unboxing. Well, not really an unboxing, just showing you the box open, really. Yeah, Xbox One. A bit of a belated Christmas present, really, for me. You can see I got Call of Duty Ghosts with it. Sold my 360 version of that. Dead Rising 3. I was always a fan of the original Dead Rising. I got that on the original Xbox. And pretty much played that. I think I've got every achievement apart from the ridiculous one where you've got to survive for like 5 days or something in real time with no saves and all the rest of it. That was just a stupid achievement. I'm not going to leave my Xbox on for a week or something trying to do that, so I never got that one. But anyway, yeah, Dead Rising was an awesome game. Dead Rising 2 I played a fair bit, so I'm looking forward to that. And Battlefield 4. So I sold my 360 copy of this as well. I didn't realise that comes with the China Rising as well. I didn't think it did. I've got the what's it called? You know, the prestige thing or whatever it is, where you know, your premium thing. That's a premium, I think it is. So hopefully that should transfer. So I'll let you know how I get on with that. But yeah, so there's the meat and bones of the system itself. What I've already got, Xbox One. So yeah, I'll get that out. I'll show you what's inside the box, and I'll connect it up. Right, so I've got the box open. What the hell is this? I think this is Kinect. Look at the size of that beast. That's just ridiculous. I wouldn't mind, but I don't even want to use this. You know, I'm going to put the update on there, so I don't need to have the thing connected and just remove it, because it's just ridiculous. I can't believe they could engineer something that large. You know, what's wrong with putting all the sort of electronic components inside the, you know, if it's a standard thing, build it into the bleeding Xbox and put a really small, lightweight camera fitting or something, you know, there's just the 2 cameras in there. Why does it have to be like this? This is unwieldy. I'm not going to be able to, where am I going to mount that? You know, am I going to mount that on top of my LCD? That's just like, it's a joke. It's just an absolute joke. The other thing is, they seem to think that everybody who has one of these consoles has it in the centre of their living room, you know, in the front room where your sofa is and you've got lots of walking space and all the rest of it. And that's just not fact at all. It's probably like 30% of people use it that way. The majority of people, you've got kids, teenagers, and even adults have these in offices, in bedrooms, you know, where you've got smaller screens, you've got less space. It's just ridiculous. There's just no thought at all. And this is why, you know, certainly talking to the people I know, the sort of 10 or 15 people I've talked to about these, and I know several people who've had them, the original one for the Xbox, just don't use them. You know, they got them on the sort of on a whim, really. You know, like, oh, well, it sounds like a great idea. Connected it up, realised it's just totally unpractical. You need large space for using it properly and effectively, and then the whole voice thing becomes a gimmick. I mean, more of a gimmick. You know, people think of the Wii Mote stuff on the Wii as being a gimmick, but yeah, I'm not convinced. I would have preferred to have the option to not have this, knock off like 30, 40, 50 quid off the bill. Anyway, let's get in there, see what else there is. Right, so lifted that flap up. I mean, the weight of this is just unbelievable. It must be like 2 or 3 kilos, I'm sure. At least, maybe even more than that, maybe. I don't know. But, you know, look at this thickness of the cable. It's just like, you know, really, really chunky design. It's like that. It's just a piece of crap, in my opinion. I just don't even want to use it at all. That's what we've got here. Mains wire, proprietary connector. Great. Not another power supply. You know, something else annoys the hell out of me as well. Why can it not be built into the console? Why do we always have to have separate brick? That's one thing I was hated about the 360. Controller. Surprised, you know, no bubble wrap or anything. It's just like, I think the quality of the packaging's not fantastic, really, on these. That just looks so cheap. Not impressed at all. I'm not impressed with the first impressions here, you know, seeing this for the first time, hands on. I don't like this smaller thumb stick. Those buttons feel really crappy. What was wrong? You know what? Can you support the original controllers? Because I'll be honest, I prefer the original controller. It's like the D-pad's an improvement. That is a significant improvement, I have to admit. There's less movement there. The other one, you've got to really press it, and it's quite raised up and all the rest of it. Yeah, you still got the click down on the buttons there. You still get your little proprietary. This looks like almost like the same size connector there on the front that you had previously, and a similar sort of size one at the back. But yeah, I mean the glossy bits look nice, but that matte, I don't know, it just looks cheap to me. Anyway, that's that. What's this, HDMI cable, is it? Yeah, doesn't look very long. About a metre or something. Let's get this out. And here we go. I'm going to need both hands to get this out, I think. And there she is. There's thumbprints on there already, just from getting it out of the box. Something else I didn't realise until a day or two ago, just after I'd already ordered this. The front loaders, these slot loaders, you know, you just, a bit like the Wii, you just stick the disc in and it pulls it off. You hate those. I absolutely hate them with a vengeance, because what happens is you get particles and things inside the little rubber things inside, and they scratch discs when you put them in. You know, the whole way they feed discs in and out, it's just the cheapest, nastiest way of you know, having a disc loading mechanism. I much prefer a tray. And the other thing that I didn't realise until, you know, again a day or two ago, is the reliability of these. There's been lots of these failing already with the Blu-rays. You know, that you put the disc in and it makes a crunching sound because the gears have come sort of misaligned or something inside. So I'm just hope to God that I haven't got that problem with this. Although if it does happen, you get a free game apparently. Although the whole rigmarole of trying to get a replacement console and having £500 or £600 taking off your credit card temporarily while they send you a replacement doesn't really appeal to me, I have to admit. So yeah, I'll connect all this up now and see how I get on. Well, we're all set up now. I'm not that impressed, just you know, sort of to start with, really, the way that you've got to patch all this up. I mean, I expected some updates. I think there was 500 meg of system updates, but then, as you can see, I've been installing Battlefield 4. And I left it going for about 15 minutes and it was on 1%, and I'm like, 1%? Are you kidding me? So, you know, is it downloading? I don't know what it's doing. My modem's flashing away there like, you know, there's no tomorrow. So, I'm not sure where the hell it's downloading it from. It's installing something from somewhere, from the internet, I think. But yeah, I'm not pleased with this at all. It's just taking forever to do anything. I've ejected the disc, stuck the disc back in again, it started installing again, it's back on 0%. And then it popped up with a, oh, you need to update this, it's 1.2 gigs. So I was like, okay, well, I accept that. So I can only assume that the installing bit is actually the 1.2 gig update that's downloading. Goddamn Microsoft. Right, you can see this, it's now finally installing Battlefield. What I had to do is, it was downloading the whole game from online, despite the disc being in the drive and stuff. And it was like, it stuck at 0% for about 30 minutes. I got cheesed off with it. I had to eject the disc, eventually disconnect the internet, try and cancel it about 10 times, spent about 10 minutes messing around with it. Eventually, after ejecting and inserting the disc a few times and trying to cancel it many times, eventually it started to install. It's doing it from the disc and it's rocketing along now. So, well, I say rocketing along, it's going up at 1% every minute or something. So, yeah, I'll check back in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm hoping that that game will then be installed, and then I can connect it back to live, log back in again, and then get the patches, and not have to install the whole damn game from online. But it's certainly not a smooth experience, and bear in mind that the time of filming this is the 22nd of January here in the UK, 2014. Microsoft have had plenty of time to patch all this stuff up and stuff, but still it's in its infancy, you know, it's still early days yet, and it's a bit glitchy, to say the least. But anyway, it seems to be going along now, so I'll see how long that takes. Well, this is just an update, sort of about a week following on, you know, this earlier part of this video here. Just some of my experiences setting all this up and stuff, and you know, using it for a week. The games obviously are a lot better. Dead Rising 3, the detail, you know, the number of zombies and things in there is just phenomenal. You know, the number of models, 3D models you can have in one scene, and the texture work is just, you know, it's unbelievable. I know that Dead Rising 3's had a lot of, you know, it's been slated a little bit for some people saying it's got poor graphics, you know, poor textures, etc. But I think it's pretty good. It's considering it's a release game, it's a good indication of what the Xbox One's capable of. That said, you know, I've been playing like Battlefield and Call of Duty and stuff, and there's very little difference between the 360 version and you know, the upscaled Xbox One version. Obviously, you've got better textures, better 3D models and things. I've noticed on Battlefield in particular, you've got some of the 64-player maps, you know, much larger landscapes and things, you know, many more players, but you just get a lag. I mean, you do with me anyway. I'm using sort of DSL modem, so that's one issue. And in fact, on the subject of DSL modems, that's the single biggest problem I've had with this, is that the patches for some of these games are pretty large. Dead Rising 3 was 15 gig. That is DLC included in there. That does one thing that doesn't annoy me when they merge the DLC in. Battlefield 4 had about, I think, 2 or 3 lots of 4 gig patches, a couple of 2 gig patches for the updates. There was one yesterday at 1.6 gig, I think. So it can take time to get some of the updates. That said, yeah, it's not bad. I'm pretty pleased with it. I've used the Xbox, the HDMI pass-through to play the Xbox 360 on here. It means you've got to have both consoles switched on. It's a bit of a downside really to that approach, but yeah, overall pretty pleased. I didn't think I'd go next gen just yet. I was going to postpone it for a year or two, but in terms of getting the latest graphic, the latest games with some decent graphics and stuff, it's probably the most cost-effective option. I don't want to be going out spending a couple of grand on a top-of-the-range PC right now. PC still plays most of the recent, the top games and stuff, but I suspect in the next year or two I'm going to be forced to get a graphics card and stuff. So this is a good alternative to postpone that for a few years. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.